Welcome back, sports fans. Just a little video today to, I'm nipping to the shops. I thought, why take the work van when I can take the 5 because it's nice. So, just a bit of the old day in the life, as they normally do. I'm just going to nip to the shops, pick some bits and bats up. Just talk you through whether the 5 and the way it's built can be a daily car. You lot can make your minds about that, but I'll just tell you a little bit about it, as we're driving about. And so obviously it's pulled out of the garage now. We're warming it up. Got to let them juices get flowing within the car. Might just set off. Like I said, it doesn't need to be mega warm. I'm just not driving it when it's freezing cold, if that makes sense. So run it for a little bit. And not only that, it's fucking freezing at the moment, so I'm trying to get some heating here as well. This is possibly one of the last times I'll get it out because I'm away next week in Italy. So if the weather's crap when I get back, this will probably be one of the last times I've had it out. But just a little fucking, he can wait. Does he know what car I'm in? So I did a video with twin engine Corsa yesterday. Adam and Rob come up, just did a little video on the 5 for the YouTube. A pair of them said, "Fucking hell, you're a natural," just chatting about the car. But I just said, I can chat to anyone, me. But let Adam have a go in it, see what he thought. I don't know if he'll put it in the video, but you'll watch. He looks like he's going to shift early, and I'm like, no, keep going. Because they do rev pretty hard, these engines. Obviously, he didn't want to kick its head in, but I said to him, you got to give it some. You got to hit it off limiter every now and again. So, I don't know whether that door's open. I can hear air. I've probably got enough fuel to get me about, but while we're in a daily video, can you daily define? I may as well stop off at the petrol station. The roads are a bit wet, and with the car being on semis, obviously that's not ideal. So if you were going to daily something like this, obviously you'd have to have swap to winter tyres as the colder months come in. But through the summer, I've driven it in the wet quite a bit, down to shows and stuff like that, and it's never caused me any issues because I've not been getting on it. But if you are going to get on it, then you definitely need to swap tyres over. We've got space. Oh yes, we have. We've got space in here. Here we go. Still one. Right. See you shortly. Dear me. Thrown 15 quid in just to get it off empty. Don't know what sort of shit I left in the bottom of that fuel tank when I fitted it. Nah, I'm only joking. So, you can deal with these things. I'm not going to get on it too much. Going to just keep it nice and sweet. Don't want to piss anybody off on the old Sunday morning, you know what I mean? But man, this is a nice winter. I'm going to say it's a winter's day. We're in October, aren't we? It's probably 4 or 5 degrees. Sun's out. Everyone's in their bob hats. I'm not really a winter guy because I can't really do what I love to do, which is cars. But on a day like today, I can appreciate a cold, crisp winter's day. Crisp. That's what we're talking about.
Nice.
But it entirely depends on the car. Me personally, for this car, everything's polybushed and it's on coils and it's set up purposely to be stiff. I've got very minimal movement, like suspension travel, basically on the purpose for not only the fitment on the car, but for the way I drive it. Right now obviously it's chilled out, but you know, if I'm on a set of back roads or something like that, obviously they don't tend to be great. If you're not from the UK, our B roads tend to be like you in an oncoming lane of traffic, bushes either side, national speed limit which is 60 mile an hour, not sure what that is in kilometres. I'm in the wrong lane here, but yeah, it's I forgot what my train of thought was now. Yeah, it's well, that's what it was on about. It was on about like B roads, that's the one. Yeah, so it's set up stiff purposely for them section of roads, because sometimes it can be a bit uneven and I don't really want to start smashing the fucking bottom of the car off. The lowest point on this car is the flexi. I did raise the suspension up in the front, and then in the rear I'm at GT turbo height, so I'm tucking slightly in the rear but not too much. But with the bigger tyres that are fitted on here, because I was on a 185 45 15, so that was a stretch for these tyres to combat how low the car was. But now that I'm on a 195 50 15, obviously that's raised it up a little bit more as well. So I reckon I've got a good, well, I don't scrape going over speed bumps, so that's your indication right there. But I mean, we're just cruising along now at 30. Some people had moaned probably about the stiffness of the car and the way it's set up, but it's not set up to be a daily driver. But that's the idea of this video. Can it be daily driven? Me personally, I'd say yeah. People obviously daily drive 172s and 182s. I know a few people that used to daily drive the 5s when they were the 1.4 campuses. You know, there's a few of us out there that used to get them. I took my 1.4 to work a few times last year. Obviously, I've got a works van now, so I can't really start throwing the tools in the back of the 5. But I bet your worst bit of daily in a car like this would probably be the upkeep, and I say that due to parts not becoming obsolete but becoming harder to source. If you're not into Renault, you won't know, but the discontinued parts after 10 years. So obviously the 5 parts have been discontinued for a long time now, but the 172 and 182 parts, they discontinued as well. Luckily you've got companies like K-Tech and people like that will make parts for these cars, which is a godsend really. But yeah, you know, you're just chilling out now. It's trying to find a spot here where some knobhead's not going to park next to me and I can drive through, and we've got one here, absolutely perfect. We're at the local Lidl. Gonna have to stop myself from munching some of them baker items. If you know, you know. But I'm gonna head in here now and get the bits and bats of shopping, and then I'll be straight back out. Should go and give it some beans. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? While I've got it out. I'm not gonna get on it too much. Put some more fuel in there. May as fucking well, Anna. May as fucking well. Now I've got a PMS shifter on order. I mean, it's not very obvious, but I just feel sometimes when I'm going for it and I'm throwing it into third, I feel like I'm straining the shoulder a little bit to get the car where I want it to be. So a PMS is the next best option really. I think they're about 400 quid online, brand new, 400-500 quid. Lad had one there, hardly used. He had it in a Renault extra van. They're pretty cool. If you want to bang, I'll bang a picture on screen. But I got offered one of them for free, but it was very rotted, so I never took it up on that opportunity. But yeah, it's come out of that, and I managed to get it for 250 quid. So, you know, that's it's a bargain really. So we had it up for sale, and I messaged him asking a couple of questions. If the lad's watching, it's no offence to you, but when you see someone with like no profile picture and you can't really see what they've been posting on Facebook, alarm bells start ringing. But I chatted to a couple of lads and they said they'd bought parts of him before and he was legit. So through friends and not friends and family, through goods and service, so everything's sound. So that should be here next week while I'm away, and then I can get this car back on the ramp to sort the exhaust issue out that's stopping me going into reverse, and then I can get the PMS shifter fitted. Like I said, got a few niggly bits over winter. Sort the fog lights out, sort the horn out, sort the indicators out. I actually cut the wiring for the washer jets by accident when I was removing excess wiring within the bay, so I could do wiring them back up. What else? I don't know, just try and tidy up the bay really. I was going to do a wire tuck, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's pointless, because I am looking to do ITBs and an LSD, so it just seems pointless really tucking the bay now when the car's not at its final or its finish point, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see what winter brings. I just think smartening the bay up really. There is a couple of wires here and there that can be smartened up, but I'd prefer to spend a weekend doing it rather than trying to do it at night before or through the week, and you know, we may as well just wait for it. The car is at operating temperature. I had passengers in yesterday with that twin engine Corsa, and what? Woo! Woo! Good Lord! I will go as far to say that this power band and weight ratio is the best out there. The 200 brake per ton, I reckon 200 and to 250 brake per ton is the best. Look, it's hard to say. You can't, unless you're in this car or something like this, something light that's got that power underneath its foot, it's pointless trying to explain it to you. It's just something different, honestly. Are we ready? Mate, every single time I drive it, mate, every single time, it ceases to amaze me. Because I know what the car is capable of, I know what I've built, I've been out in it, I've done the top speed runs and stuff like that, I've come up against other cars. I was driving it yesterday, I get back in it, and the same feeling over and over again. I'm thinking, shit, I can be doing 40 miles an hour. But when I'm in second gear, ragging the tits off it and it's screaming in 40 miles an hour, I feel like I'm doing 100. I don't need to be doing 100 miles an hour to feel like it's going fast. It's just something else. And that's why I do these videos with different content creators across YouTube, across Instagram, because I want people to know that you don't need the Golf R's, alright, they are maybe special in the way that they're built, and probably when I'm my dad's age, when I'm 40, 50, they'll be the cars to own, because that's what that's what people my age are into. But when you hear the stories off the older boys of like cars back in the day and being able to take this part off this one and put it on here because it works with air, and you're thinking, nah, it doesn't work like that, and then you actually get into this sort of scene, and it just does work. Unbelievable, Jeff. Absolutely unbelievable. I think the thing for me is I've had a lot of turbo cars. I think the last couple of cars that I had were turbo. Obviously my Mark 1 S3, that was turbo, and that was running about 280-ish. And I don't know if I've touched on this before, but I was asking online on the forums and stuff like that about weight saving on the S3s, because I had basically I heard that the internals went about 320 to 350. People had issues with them around then, so I had mine mapped to 280, intercooler, all that sort of jazz. I think it had an uprated clutch in it as well, I can't quite remember. And when I did the old strip the interior, had a K-brace in the back, had the seats at the front removed, and had bucket seats put in, just to try and save weight, because they were heavy cars. And some lad on the forum said, if you're trying to save weight in an S3, you've got the wrong car. They are heavy cars. You have to put big power into them to make them what you want to be. And that's sort of like, that was sort of the turning point to me, where I thought, right, I need to go older, get an older hatch. And I do think Volkswagen are partly to blame to making hatches the way they are nowadays, because it went from that point of hatches being the cheap, small engine runabout to now being what seems to be a lot of the British public own. It's either a big fucking stupid 4x4 or it's a hatchback that now is the size of what used to be 4x4s back in the day. Now if you put this next to a hatchback of today's era, it's mad the difference in size. I think I'm gonna have to go to the next set of lights. These lot are queuing to get off. We'll spin it around at the next ones. But yeah, like I said, the size difference is crazy. But that, it's the noise, I understand that they're not as safe as obviously today's cars, but no older car is. And the potential with these is like the sky's the limit, because you've got a car that weighs near enough next to nothing. What the fuck is wrong with that person? You've got a car that weighs near enough next to nothing, and I've got a 2 litre in here now, and it's pulling like a paperweight. Do you know what I mean? This engine was made for a car that was, 1,000 kg to 1,200 kg. This is like 850. I enjoyed my 1.4 that I think was around 70 to 80 brake. I enjoyed that car. I could kick its head in. It was NA. It used to scream. I'd done all sorts to that. I took the head off to put a 1.1 head on there, and I just wet sanded the head. I didn't get it skimmed. I just wet sanded it and put it on, and it was sweet as a nut. And then I sold that engine to a fella who was putting it in another campus to do racing, because them 1.4s were that bulletproof without a turbo. Yeah, it was just unreal. I just adore this car. I do. Every time I drive it, like I said, it ceases to amaze me. And it's a shame that it's got to go away. And people say, oh, you should drive it over winter, you should drive it over winter. I understand that. I do understand that in a sense. But I've just spent the last 10 months from that September to when it was finished spending near enough all my wage to get it where it is today. It is balanced. The missus does balance me out and says, like, look, get the bills in, then whatever money's spare is yours to spend on the car. So she is good. She is very good. But as far as dailying goes, I'd say so. I'd daily something like this. I'd probably daily the campus, because that'd be even funnier. Daily the campus with a 2 litre in it. It's just something different. You just don't see them about at all. Oh, I've got a bit of straight. What more can you say? What more can you say? These microphones are pretty shit, to be fair. You know the old cliche, you buy cheap, you buy twice. I bought cheap and they're fucking shit. So they're not bad for me speaking into them now, but if I want anything, any engine noise, which I know a lot of you want from in the bay and stuff like that, I can't get it. It's muffled, it sounds awful. So I'd rather not give you any, as opposed to giving you a shit sample of the engine. So I spoke to Inbound TV and found out what mics they were using, and they've given me suggestions, so I'm going to get them for next year. Man, different gravy, mate. Absolutely different gravy. And again, if you've not experienced anything like this, you wouldn't know. And this is what I was saying to Adam yesterday. He was saying you're part of a dying breed that's getting into these older cars and restoring them, because obviously it's a lot of the older boys that know the cars. But unless my dad hadn't said, oh, I had one of these, I had one of these, I had one of these, and made me want to have my own, I wouldn't have known. If you were just a standard 18-year-old lad that had just passed your test, you're looking at the newest, fastest car that's out there, and you're wanting that car. You're wanting the most affordable, fast car for your money. But yeah, as I was saying, you're going for what's the best out there, the cheapest bang for your buck, and that's what our dads did back in the day. They got the cheapest cars they could out there for the buck. They weren't going for Lamborghinis, they couldn't afford it. This was 120 brake back in the day. 120 brake now, that's nothing. Your standard hatchbacks have that nowadays, but saying that, your standard hatchbacks weigh 12 to 1400 kg now. They don't weigh the 750 kg that this was from factory. Your minis, minis are like sub 700. I'm sure they're about 650. Whose idea was it to throw like a 1275 in a mini back in the day? You know what I mean? Some absolute madman sat in a fucking bean can decided, yeah, you know what, we're gonna fucking slap a 1200 engine in this. Just going to enjoy it. Like I said, this is probably one of my last drives out in the car for the year. A couple of bits I just need doing on it, you know, tinkering in the bay, maybe swapping a few bits and bats out. I'm sure the pads and discs will be okay. You know, they've not really done much. It's sad putting a car away, but there's that old saying, you can't be sad that it's over, you've got to be glad that it happened. And that's the excitement of when December is over. January, February, getting the car back into its prime condition again, ready for show season. Will it be ready, will it not? I think a lot of people mistake anxiety for excitement. I get a nervous belly. I get a nervous belly when I start the car for the first time when I've not started it in a while. That's not me being anxious, that's the excitement of me finding out whether it's going to start or not. I can understand. people with anxiety issues, I'm not going on about that concept, but I'm saying I think a lot of people put that gut feeling, that anxious belly, down to anxiety when it's that excitement. You're excited to go to that show. You're nervous. Nervous isn't that sort of nervous. You're not anxious. You're excited. That's the nerves in your belly getting you ready for the show season. And that's what you'll have around February next year. You'll have that time, and then you'll hear this noise again. And all them memories all come flooding back of last year, and now you did this and now you did that, and then you've got a whole another 6 to 8 months to make them more memories. Videos will be coming in the winter on getting the car sorted with its few electrical issues and bits and bats. But again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all the nice comments I get at shows and stuff like that. I don't think I'd forget people that come up and comment about the car. I love hearing your stories on what you're doing to your builds and stuff like that. And you start to appreciate when people build cars, when you sort of build something like this. As I've said in my Instagram, you don't realise how tough it is to build a car on your ones in a garage until you actually do it. Seems like a walk in the park just to change a couple of lines and paint the underside and do bits and bats. It's not. It's hard. There's the missus. Should we give her some beans? Gotta go for it, haven't we? Different gravy, ladies and gents. Love you and leave you.